5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time to count down reality TV's most talked about moments with Amanda Bella. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bella Talks TV. This is Amanda Bella, and we have a lot of things going on, so I want to get right into it this week. In lieu of not having BravoCon, Bravo has decided to start having these bi-coastal Bravo TV experiences. So basically just in LA and in New York. And so I'm lucky enough to be back in New York now, and I was able to snag myself a ticket, which is also half the struggle too. I don't know if you guys remember, if you've been listening to me, if you're one of my OG listeners, I talk about how hard it was for me to get my BravoCon ticket last year. Luckily, I was not having to try that hard to get my ticket to go to this Bravo watch party, but it's July 16th here in New York, and it is going to be, I think an exciting night. So it's going to be a advanced viewing of an episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County. I love RHOC. I famously talk about how I've been an OG Housewives fan. I started watching Real Housewives right back season 1, episode 1 of Vicky Gunvalson in Coda de Casa in Real Housewives of Orange County. She is the OG of the OC. I don't like Vicky, but I love her, and she is mother. So I have to pay all due respect. She got the Housewife Achievement Award from Andy at BravoCon. I mean, that was actually well deserved. I would like to see Luann get the next one. She really is killing it. Did you guys see that she played that music festival that was over in England that was for Hey You Social, which is actually a streaming service? So they did like a music festival over there, and apparently Housewives is huge in the UK, and they had her come and perform at the music festival, and she was out there, and there were people with signs. Like, I love signs so much at a concert. I also love flags, and I just love anybody that comes and is just literally letting their freak flag fly. And I would have loved to be at that Countess Luann set, because she was going off. Like, everybody in the crowd was like, chic, c'est la vie, c'est bon. Seeing a whole crowd. I mean, there's got to be at least 50,000 people, maybe 30 to 50,000 people there. God, so exciting for Lou. I loved it. But I hope she gets the next Lifetime Achievement Award at the next BravoCon, which won't be until we are in Las Vegas again in 2025. So this year they're skipping it. They're doing these watch parties. I got my ticket to the Real Housewives of Orange County pre-advanced screening, whatever that even means, watch party. And then I also got tickets for another event. So another thing that Bravo is doing in lieu of not having BravoCon is they're doing these like pop-up events, and they have another one called Diamonds and Rosé, which is right up my alley. I couldn't click my button fast enough. I was actually in Target when I got the alert on my phone that the tickets went on sale, and I immediately pulled my cart right over and started filling out the form to get. This was like a weird one. So this thing goes on for 6 weeks, I believe, 6 or 7 full weeks. And it is a pop-up in Chelsea somewhere. And apparently you go and there's different like activations kind of when you're at BravoCon, and they have like the fake Sir Bar or the fake Sir Alley or the fake table flip with Teresa. Like, there's all these like little like activation stations that you can have photo ops and do things at. So I'm assuming that this is just going to be one giant Diamonds and Rosé themed one, and maybe it's to celebrate Beverly Hills. Like, I don't know what it's going to be about. It's a big question mark to me right now. I also snagged a ticket to that, and that's on August 3rd. So I have a couple really fun Bravo themed events in the pipeline. And now that I'm back in New York, big reason why I wanted to be back here full time and able to check out all these amazing events and come back and be able to tell you if you guys are missing anything, or if you're just saving money, or hopefully living vicariously through me if it's a good time. I'm here to be boots on the ground for everybody. So looking forward to those few things coming in. And another thing that I'm looking forward to is I've been talking to you guys for a while about bringing guests on the pod. And I mean, it's been hard for me because I am not a group project person. I know that about myself. One of my strengths is that I'm an independent worker. So it's been hard for me to be like, okay, do I want to bring like other people on? Do I even want anybody to have any other type of like creative control over the pod? Like, I like just putting my own vision out, my own words, my own voice, everything. Like I edit everything myself. Like I just want it to really be me and be like my authentic voice at all times. And it's not like I can't, hold those views still and stand in my truths when I have a guest on. But it's just a lot easier to come on here and rant from my gut and just say what's on my mind and kind of use this as like a little therapy session, a one-on-one session, a private session, if you will, versus being like a public platform where I'm bringing guests on and then it's going on their pages. And I don't know. It's like I kind of like having it as like my little secret right now. But with all of that being said, I have decided to move forward with guests. And I'm going to have guests on this podcast on Bella Talks TV with us. And I'm also going to be on other guest podcasts as well coming up. So I have 2 exciting episodes coming up in the next couple of weeks. One project that I'm really excited about is that I'm going to be able to be a guest on Bravo Outsider podcast. I'm looking forward to doing that and getting a little bit more experience going back and forth with other people in real time, having real conversations, and having a little bit of a different format and medium that I'm working with here because, it's always good to grow and challenge yourself. And if I work with guests and I absolutely hate it, I can come back to just like being here on my own. But I know it's important to collaborate with others, and I love hearing other people's points of view. I really do. I'm just scared of not being able to I can't always articulate myself in the best way. And I just hope I'm able to get my point across without sounding like a crazy nut. So looking forward to all of that coming up. And then I want to get right into my top 5 countdown this week. So I guess I do have one LOL I want to talk about. So I'm not sure how you guys feel about Hannah Berner, but she obviously found her claim to fame on Summer House. She came in season 3 with Paige, and she, for seasons 3 and 4, really found a good rhythm on the show. She was pretty well liked, got along with everybody, was able to still have some authentic fights with Kyle and Amanda. I think that those were kind of considered her and anti-hero antithesis. I think Amanda and Kyle were kind of considered her, enemies, frenemies at one point of filming. And I don't know, still to this day, it seems like Kyle said that he is down to reconcile with her. She seems like she's moved on with her life. I am a Giggly Squad listener. I'm not a big enough Hannah Berner fan to listen to her podcast with Des because Des, I'm just going to be honest, he kind of gives me the ick. I think a lot of that has to do with the way that her and Des acted in season 5 when this was the COVID season, you guys. So during the COVID season, they moved they weren't sure they were going to shoot Summer House. So they decided, okay, let's create a bubble and we'll make a Summer House bubble. No one goes in, no one comes out, everyone gets tested. We can still shoot. So instead of leaving the normal format every week, they're out there, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they come home. And they go back to the city, they live their lives, and then rinse and repeat. This time, they were locked out there for 6 weeks filming, and no one ever left, and they weren't allowed to go anywhere, and they were just stuck in there. This was an epic season. You've got to go back and brush up on that season, because that's when Hannah officially loses her mind. And they can't really have people coming in and out of the house, so she starts talking to Des before she goes in the house. She famously says, oh, I kind of wanted to keep things open with Des because Luke and I were going to be in the house again together and I didn't know where that was going to go. Hannah was in love with Luke. I don't care what she says. I don't care how she tries to spin it or play it cool. She was definitely head over heels in love with Luke. I don't blame her. She obviously had insane chemistry with him. He floated right back and seemed to also have feelings with her too. Maybe it wasn't going to end up in marriage, but kind of like a Sierra and Wes situation. It's they should have just been open to casually dating for a few summers, and then if you're gonna get married, nothing you can do if you're meant to be with somebody and that's your person, nothing's gonna get in the way of that being what the plan from the universe is for you. I know that sounds so cheesy, but it's true. You can't mess it up if it's really your person. So just go for it, and if it's not your person, you're gonna know. So these girls just need to give the guys a little bit more of a chance and not be thinking so far down the pipeline, being a little bit more present in the moment. And I think that would also produce a little bit more fun TV versus watching everybody trying to lock these summer fuckboys down, because that's what Summer House is about. Don't forget. So anyways, back to Hannah. I'm not a Hannah stan, but I like her well enough for the service that she gave us on Summer House. When she brings Des in season 5, oh my God. And the way that they literally just hook up all over the house in Kyle and Amanda's bathroom. Ew, their audio is on and it's just disgusting. So she all owes us an apology for that still. Though season 5 reunion too, so bad. So bad, you guys. Like, it is really scary how fame can really start to affect some of these cast members. We're seeing a lot of it on Vanderpump Rules. And I think we're also now starting to see that happen with Summer House, where they've been on these shows long enough. They each have had 8+ seasons, Vanderpump now 10+ seasons. And they're both starting to see this like new height of Bravo fandom and fame, especially after Scandival. And so it's just no surprise that a lot of the egos and the fame and the accountability, and it's just all starting to get mixed up over on Bravo. Like, it's these kids are not these naive, broke, struggling, hustling kids anymore. Like, they're living different lives. And because they have evolved so much and the format kind of the show has stayed the same, we're just at an interesting crossroads where we're going to have to find out like where a lot of these couples go, where a lot of these storylines end up going. I know Paige and Craig is a big one. But with Hannah, she was out. She was just like deuces. She basically got fired, I think pretty much wasn't asked back. And then that really just fueled her to go on and find success off of reality TV. And what's interesting about that and about her ending up with Des, who's also a stand-up and getting, I think, a lot of mentoring and just, I think when you take boys off the table, like Hannah was clearly boy crazy, and being in the summer house and having all this distraction with Luke and everything, like she was finding success with Burning in Hell and Giggly Squad and all of these things and fame from the show. But she, I think, just really needed this older guy to come in and like lock her down and take boy craziness off the table. And look what she's been able to like manifest for herself now, because she's only focused on herself pretty much. With Hannah, it's just been interesting to see her journey. And now with all that being said, her Netflix special will be available July 9th. It's called We Ride at Dawn. And I saw Hannah actually, a few times live. The first time I ever saw her live was at the Miami Improv when I was down in Florida a few winters ago. I actually met up with a cute girl from the Giggly Squad Facebook group, which I am not a member of any longer. But at the time, it was right after the pandemic, and I was using it to like make friends and meet people and go to shows. And we ended up going to the Miami Improv, seeing Hannah live. It was actually really funny. I did the meet and greet. I was kind of disappointed by that. She didn't really feel like, she wasn't really chatty. And there were a lot of girls waiting, and kind of just like got rushed through, took a quick picture. But anyways, not my like proudest moment to even admit that I was big enough of a fan to do that. But what you'll do after a couple glasses of rosé. So that was the first time I saw her. That Giggly Squad came through on their first tour. They came through Long Island, and they were at the Paramount Theater. And I snagged a ticket to that, took an Uber, went there by myself. Again, I had a couple glasses of rosé. When they asked the crowd to ask a question, I love to ask a question. So got up to the mic. I asked Paige definitely something about Craig. I can barely remember. Something about what's so great about New York to her that it's like clearly makes it better than Craig. And she kind of gave, a very like Paigey question, which annoyed me and has actually ever since then given me the ick from her. Because I'm like, come on, girl. Like, I'm a fan. I'm trying to just like ask a question. Like the way she kind of like snarkily responded to me just made me want to like crawl into a hole and die. I've never like forgiven her for that, but I still am a fan of Hannah and Paige. The third and final time that I saw Hannah was actually last summer. She played at the West Hampton Performing Arts Theater, and I love to go to the Hamptons on my birthday weekend every summer. And so she was out there last summer. We went out there, we went to dinner, we went and saw her, me and my husband. And, even she does, she can get the men laughing too. She knows how to have humor and comedy that also like appeals to a guy. So he was really into it and thought she was really funny. And so I've seen her live a few times. So I'm excited to watch her Netflix special, and I know she's really proud of herself. I know she had a lot of anxiety, which was relatable, and a lot of imposter syndrome going into her recording this. And it's like, I totally could understand that because I have imposter syndrome just sitting here behind this mic being on camera. It's like, who am I? Who cares? Why would anybody even like bother to do this? Why would anybody want to watch this? Like, you're always going to have little voices in your head telling you the thousands of reasons why you shouldn't do something. But like, it's the people that truly push through all those voices and all that anxiety that succeeds. So I'm just trying to also join that group. Hannah maybe is a little bit of an inspiration. I'd say I'll give her that 1% of my inspiration to be here and doing this. Because don't forget, like, she really did start with the Burning in Hell podcast, and that got me really into podcasts. Like, that was one of the first ones that I would be like appointment podcasting. Okay, new episode drop. Like, who's the guest? What are they talking about? I really liked the format of her show, how she would be talking about like, what is your version of hell? Like, what are, different things in hell that are like, what's your biggest sins? And I just liked the theme of the show. It was really good and creative. So kudos to Hannah and congrats on your Netflix special. I'm going to skip the OMG this week because I'll just pretty much say, like, I was going to talk about Justin Timberlake, which isn't really TV related. But again, just on the theme of the Hamptons, like, I love it out there. And I'm mad at him for like tainting it and for driving around out there like an idiot. And Justin Timberlake was the very first concert. Actually, no, I lied. My very first concert was when I went and saw Hanson when I was 9 years old. And then my very first concert when I was old enough to drive and like go with friends was to see Justin Timberlake, the Justified tour, when he was on tour with Christina Aguilera doing the Stripped tour. Wow, what a pop culture moment that was. So I just want to say I'm mad at Justin Timberlake for ruining the Hamptons. He has not been like serving for me the last few years anyway. I kind of felt like he had like some karma coming. We will see what happens with that. Stay tuned because there's rumors and conspiracy theories saying that he planned his own DUI so he could get out of having his tour. Very J-Lo of him, a la J-Lo pretending to get divorced so that she can get out of her low ticket sales, wanted to stay home and focus on her family instead of going on this tour. So just a lot going on in celebrity culture. So yeah, with all that being said, that was my OMG and my LOL of the week. Okay, let's get into my top 5 most talked about reality TV moments of the week. And I'm so excited because we have some really good ones on the docket this week. Like I said, there's been a little bit of a drought in Housewives maybe, but not in reality TV drama. Always lots going on there. So coming in at number 5 this week, it is the Love Island premiere and the host with the most, Ariana Madix. I cannot be more obsessed with Ariana right now. Like, I'm halfway single white femaling her. I am looking to her for inspiration to go for my goals. I'm looking to her for inspiration to get my body looking fire. I'm the exact same age. Well, she's 1 year older than me, almost to the day. But I've always considered like we're like the same age. Like, she also, doesn't have children at her age and has been really open about maybe not wanting them. And there's just so many things about her that I relate to her about, and I'm drawing from her, and I'm looking to her to really succeed. I saw Ariana in Chicago, and I cannot wait to go again. I'm so happy that she gets to do another run now that I'm back in New York, even though I got to see her, like, it wasn't opening night, but it was opening month I went and saw it, I think. And it was so good. I cried like 3 times. She is a natural, and she was really born to perform. To me, she was a natural fit to come and host a TV show. A lot of people are like, ooh, I don't know. Like, it's a little cheesy. It's like Love Island is cheesy. Like, Peacock, Love Island USA. Yeah, the writing is a little cheesy. The people that are on there, everything is just a little bit like cheesy to me. I don't think it's supposed to be like crazy television, but it's giving us what we're expecting from Love Island. We're getting some hot couples, we're getting some drama, we're getting some natural moments. I don't want to give too many spoiler alerts away if you're not caught up yet, but if you're not up to the part yet where Leah and Rob have their situationship and just what goes on there and everything that happens in the pool. Let's just put it that way. I don't think that gives too many spoilers, but I am just dying with these characters that they find. First of all, Rob is like a snake wrangler and has snake tattoos all over his arms. And I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of hot. I was like, okay, he's kind of doing it for me. But now this whole situation with Leah, absolutely not. And then there's everything going on with Janae and Cordell. And Cordell is Odell Beckham Jr.'s little brother. And that too is very interesting. Don't forget, like, wasn't Odell Beckham just dating Kim Kardashian, supposedly? So, I mean, she ends up, again, spoiler alert, maybe not ending up with him. Maybe she ends up choosing someone else, maybe not. I guess I'll have to stay tuned. But their situationship is very interesting, and there's just a lot going on already. I really like Kaylor. I'm just really enjoying Love Island USA. But the best part about it, of course, is Ariana and these insane bombshell outfits that she's been walking in. And first, the one where she's dripping in gold, 10 across the board, not a flaw in sight, perfection. Then she had the cute little bebopper dress that was like purple, green, and blue, shinies with the cutouts with her hair like half up. So cute, stunning. Then she had a couple other like one-off ones, a little white crochet dress, a little, if you guys don't follow the account Big Blonde Hair, I love that account. She basically goes on every single one of these shows, everything everybody wears. She posts where it's from, links it, shows if it's available, puts how much it is. I'm obsessed with Big Blonde Hair. She's also another Amanda, so can't I'm not gonna lie, like I love another Amanda. It's very rare that there's another Amanda that I don't like. We have to stick together. So I really, really like everything Ariana is wearing. Then, of course, the biggest one, the big one that really hit everybody's jaw on the floor this week was the black number that she came in, which was like a sheer plunging neckline Z, and then with this draped, feathered, ruffled robe over it, walking in like these kind of like gladiator heel sandals. Oh, so good. It is so good. I wish I had places to go where I could wear stuff like that. Like I live for the fashion. I live for the serving of the looks. So I'm really loving Love Island. That was my number 5 most talked about moment of the week. Ariana, Love Island. And number 4 is kind of on the same track. So I want to move over to Netflix. We got to check back in with our perfect match Netflix cinematic universe. And again, we have a little bit more to talk about Harry and Jess. So things have been kind of unfolding online. People are trying to, of course, get their monocles out and figure out if Harry and Jess are still dating currently. Is he posting things from back when they were filming to throw us off the scent of the fact that he's with someone else now? Like basically it's just a huge mystery. Like who is Harry with? And we're not going to find out quite yet. Season finale will come out tomorrow. I'm recording this today, Thursday, June 20th. So I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I'm actually rooting for Harry and Jess. Like, does anyone else get Brittany Cartwright vibes from Jess? Like, they both have big boob implants. They both have those like thick Southern accents, the long brown hair with like the caramel highlights with like the waves in it. They both just remind me of people that eat beer cheese and like wear jean shorts and cowboy boots. Like they probably love to ride horses. Like they just remind me of each other a little bit. And it really surprises me that Harry is like, I am so obsessed with Jessica, can't find anything wrong with her. And again, that just attests to like true chemistry. Like when you have chemistry with somebody, you gotta look past maybe all of the things you actually don't have in common with someone, because I don't think Harry and Jess have anything in common. Like I don't see how they would be attracted to each other physically. So it's just interesting. Like Harry being a stepdad to me is not, I don't want to be mean, but it's comical. And him writing her these letters and stuff and these little like love notes about how she's a good mom. And it's just, to me, it's giving like, I'm trying to rehab my image, and Jess is like the sweetest Southern single mom. Like basically I'm going to use her to like just get back into the good graces of America. And I see right through it. And Harry is gonna Harry, but I don't want Jess to fall for it. I don't want them to be together. And she deserves way hotter Like she can do it. She can definitely get someone who's way hotter and more mature. So what else is going on over in Perfect Match? We've got Steven and Alara still going hot. I really like Steven and Alara. Steven to me is very attractive, and I'm not really like an MGK type of chick typically. A lot of people think that because I have tattoos and stuff, like they just think like, oh, you would be with a guy with like tattoos and that like looks more like rough around the edges like that. But I actually don't like that at all. So I think it's interesting when girls are super into that bad boy look. And Alara was one of them. You know, she got really into Steven. So did Xanthi. I really, really liked her. I can't remember what show she originally came from, maybe Too Hot to Handle or The Circle or something. However, she got onto Perfect Match from by ways of Netflix and one of some other reality TV show. But she gets on the show too, and I really like Xanthi and I really like Alara. So I guess I really like girls that are like Steven's type. So I don't know, Steven's cool to me. Like he kind of got a little soft, and I think maybe he was trying to show like he's not just some crazy bad boy and he is capable of committing and being boyfriend material. So I'm not sure exactly what his end game is to everybody, but I'm interested to watch the finale. And I love Dom. Dom is just, to me, he's almost like that Francesca type where like when he's on TV, I can't help but watch him. When I'm scrolling and his reels come up and his TikToks come up, like I have to watch them. Like whatever he's doing to me, it's like enigmatic. So I always want Dom on my TV screens. I'm not sure what else we can like get him in, but I want to watch him on something else. And I really like the Britain girl that comes in that is also from Hawaii. She is really funny, and she's talking to Kaz. There's like a really funny moment where she's talking to Kaz, who's Micah's from Love is Blind current match, and like again another couple that I'm just not seeing that. Maybe there's physical attraction there, but like Micah, girl, no, like I don't know. I don't get some of these couples that are going on there. So Kaz is talking to Britain, and she's like, yeah, I'm from Hawaii. And he's like, oh, I'm unfamiliar with like where that is. And she's like, you don't know where Hawaii is. He's like, no, I don't really like know the US geography. And she's like, that big, she's like, you know, the islands that are like in the middle of the ocean. Like, you don't know where Hawaii is. And he's like, no, I just like don't know. And everyone's laughing, and it's kind of like a cute little like house moment. So I like watching the interactions in between all these different people. Just a lot of different characters. I would like to see Micah with somebody else. Like we've got to figure her out. I would have liked to see her with maybe Steven. Yeah, why didn't they like give it a go? Or I don't think Dom is really her type. He's like too nerdy and goofy, even though she likes nerdy and goofy. Maybe they were a mismatch. I don't know, but I have a lot of thoughts about Perfect Match. So if you're not caught up yet, again, the end of the season is going to end tomorrow, where we're gonna have to see Nick Lachey, Nick and Vanessa. Another thing that they host is this Perfect Match show. It's so bad. I have a video I'm going to post to my Instagram. This reminds me. I have a little reel that I need to post of, if you haven't seen the intro credits of Perfect Match this season, Nick Lachey's like walking around like a cenote in Mexico, because this season is filmed in Tulum. And he's walking around this like cenote, and then he goes to like jump in, and he like rips them like the buttons off his shirt and like jumps in, and like this cringy like back flop. My God. No, it's so awful. So bad. Vanessa, come get your guy. Vanessa, come get your guy. So yeah, that was my number 4 most talked about moment of the week. Perfect Match. Coming in hot. So number 3, left turn alert, right turn alert. What does Andy say? Right turn alert, left turn alert. Coming in at my number 3 most talked about moment of the week, we've got to go south down to our peaches in Atlanta again. Drama just never stops flowing. Last week on the pod, you guys heard me talk a little bit how I'm not going to be Team Kenya, as they like to call it, Team Twirl. I'm not a team twirler. I always thought Kenya played a little too desperate, a little too dirty. And another pet peeve I have of hers is that she also likes to weaponize the motherhood card and be like, oh, I have a mother, or like, oh, my kid's on this trip. And it's like, yeah, then don't bring your kid to work. Like, you have a nanny. I don't know. I don't like Kenya as a housewife. I just don't. There's that. I like her as a person. I like her as a mother. I like her as an entrepreneur, but I do not like her as a housewife. And thank you again for your service through the years, but I just feel like the fame has gotten too much to your head. You've gotten too untouchable. And I don't think that she is technically an OG, but she has that OG mentality of just like, oh, Andy's never going to get rid of me. They need me. Like, I'm untouchable. And it's like, didn't everybody learn from Nene? Like, hello, you can totally become touchable to this network. So Kenya decided to do, again, if you haven't listened to last week's episode, go back and listen to that one first, because you're going to have to hear about everything that happens with, all of the allegations of what Kenya does at her spa opening with Brittany Eady, who is this, alleged escort, and everybody's calling it like the revenge porn suit. And I believe that this is true revenge porn. What Kenya did, finding images that apparently were already out into the world, but still, this is where it all gets very nuancey, because technically these images that Kenya used, they weren't private images, they were already out on the internet. So I'm not sure how that works with revenge porn. If that means that is she's still liable for putting those images out there, or like if it's, I think she can at least be sued for like slander still or something. I don't know. But everyone's comparing it to what Tom Sandoval and Ariana are going through with Raquel, with her revenge porn case. And to me, they're like apples and oranges. Like, you can't really compare the two, because with Tom and Ariana, Tom recorded Raquel without her consent, without her knowing. I'm assuming that she, never consented to this video. So for Tom to record it is super creepy. And I'm not going to lie, I would also take legal action against somebody who did that to me too. It's one thing to record it and keep it in your like spank bank and like never show anybody, never tell anybody, and like keep it for yourself, and like that's it. Like that I don't think is a crime, even though technically it is, because you're still recording without consent. But it's like you're not distributing it, and you're not trying to humiliate anybody with it. You're just using it for yourself. So then the difference is that when Ariana found Tom's phone the night that she found out, the scandal night, that she found out Tom was cheating with Raquel, she found his phone. Ariana finds this video on Tom's phone, and she sent it to herself. Now, this video allegedly is of Raquel, pleasuring herself. And so now Ariana is in possession of this video of Raquel. And this is where things really start to get messy. Now, allegedly, Ariana showed friends this video. I don't know if that means Brad. I don't know if that means Logan. I don't know if that means Katie, Sheena. I don't know if that means anybody. We don't know. But they are denying it. So supposedly nobody's seen it besides Ariana and Raquel. This is an open sue, and we do not know the outcome of this. Now, to say that Kenya is also doing revenge porn, it's like there was no heat of the moment. Like when Ariana sent that video to herself from Tom, and like even allegedly showed her friends in the heat of the moment of like being in all that pain and like basically like claiming like a psychotic break, I think that we would all understand like why she made these decisions. She wasn't in like the right state of mind. But with Kenya, it was like a premeditated, planned out, like hidden from production. Like she went out of her way to expose these pictures like on purpose to humiliate her. There were not images that she owned. And so just for those reasons alone, like they're just not the same situation. So I'm going to have to say like Team Twirl is a big fail and a big flop. I'm going to have to say with Tom and Ariana, as long as Ariana is truly telling the truth that she didn't show people the video or send it to anybody, then she doesn't have a case. Then Rocky doesn't have a case. And if you guys don't know, Raquel's asked to be called Rocky now. So Rocky doesn't have a case, and hopefully it'll get thrown out. The scandal will never end. It will never end. So that was my number 3 most talked about moment. Kenya, she's currently suspended from filming because of her revenge porn case that has been now started because she chose to expose nude photos of a cast member named Brittany Eady. So that is the full story. We've got to talk about Summer House. Part 2 of the reunion aired. The season 8, part 2 of the reunion aired this past week, and we finally got a lot of answers. A lot of people are really frustrated with the way that the season ended and the way that Andy treated Lindsay in particular during the reunion. I have to say I'm very pleased with the outcome. I was out here fighting for my life as a Carl apologist for the last 6 weeks. And I know that like me, Bravo historian, Sam Bush, there's just a few of us that have been out here really trying to let our little voices be heard, that Carl needed to be vindicated, and that, this is the thing. I don't hate Lindsay. Like, when you can dislike somebody and call them out without hating them and thinking they're a bad person. So I don't hate Lindsay and think that she's a bad person. I think Lindsay is one of these Bravo celebrities who has been elevated to a status where, if you guys don't remember, back in the season 7 reunion, they talk about how Lindsay got scolded by Andy for being rude to fans and staff at BravoCon. It's definitely the New York BravoCon, because Carl and her had not even been together yet. But so if you can recall, I believe ever since then, Bravo and production has had a bone to pick with Lindsay. And so when Lindsay decided to invoke the name of production and basically how she was blindsided and how Carl called them, dictated the staff to come over and film this conversation, potentially where he would be breaking up with her, etc. We know the story by now. All because of this, and because Lindsay decided to tell everybody that it was production's fault, basically that she was humiliated and that, they had conspired together to do this to her. Andy has just had enough. You can tell it was like the straw that broke the camel's back with him. And he was like, okay, like for the last few years now, you have been acting crazy to not only just me, myself, but production, the other cast members, and also bringing the media in and getting the outside world to believe these narratives that you're pushing. And they had just had enough. I think, Lindsay's not a bad person. She does like to spin things. She does like to use her PR background to create these narratives instead of just being her authentic self and really trying to connect with people. I think that she would be more vulnerable and really, like, the girl have been open a few times into reconnecting with her. Like, everyone saw in that last scene where Lindsay comes over to Danielle's apartment and they're all there to comfort her after, she gets dumped and everything. And after she leaked it to the press already, mind you, that this was the narrative that was going to be happening, the girls did rally around her. And I think that they really wanted to give her a chance, but it was her actions off screen and off season that have now basically given the other cast members no choice with her but to just fight back, try to get her to see these are the reasons why we don't want to fuck with you. You leak things to the press. You use us to put stories out. We're not like pawns in your scheme of life. So I think everybody just really had enough. And you can see how that has really come to be after this part 2 of this reunion and seeing how the season goes out. It's like, ooh, how do we move forward? Like, everyone keeps being like, everyone's coming back. And I just saw a post yesterday from Lindsay's Instagram that was like, oh, this is going to be so cute to wear in the Hamptons. Basically saying like, I'm for sure coming back to film Summer House. So there's 2 things. If she's not pregnant, because again, this has not been confirmed or really denied. If she's not pregnant, then she's definitely coming back to Summer House and, business as usual this summer. We're going to probably see like a hot hub summer. Then if she is pregnant, she's coming back to film, like, what is the dynamic really going to be? And I wonder if Carl's going to forgive her. Like, I see a path forward where Carl forgives her because that's just the kind of guy that he is. And is basically like, you know what, Lindsay, like, I don't know if she's going to end up engaged. We're talking hypothetically, if she's pregnant with this guy that she's been dating for a month's baby, basically. So if she's pregnant with this guy's baby, like, who knows if they're really going to get married or anything? She would basically be a single mom. And I wonder if Carl will step up to be like, hey, like, I'm going to help you with this baby. Even if she's not with the baby daddy after all, the guy that she's dating. Because I believe they're just dating as of now. They're obviously not engaged. We would all know about it. And if she is pregnant, I don't know if she would try to get married before she has this baby or not. So again, this is all speculation and me just creating up some like fan fiction. But I just really want to know what's going to happen because besides from that, there was a lot of questions left unanswered about the status of Kyle and Amanda going after the reunion. And we've talked a lot about these cheating rumors, and I feel like they've already been debunked. Kyle's made a statement. Amanda, I think, is pretty much made a statement where like they're just not together. They're going to be together later in Italy this summer. She wanted to stay back. I mean, that blind that was released about one of the Summer House members being pregnant, like, could it be Amanda? Because anybody put that theory out there that like maybe Amanda is pregnant? Maybe she'll just be ready to go to that Italy wedding after she announces and is able to like have everybody know by then she can start posting. Just want to kind of like throw that theory out there. I don't know if anybody has seen her like drinking lately. Actually, I don't know. I think on her Instagram she might have posted a picture the other day of like wine and cheese, but who knows? That could have not been her glass of wine. So I don't know. Not to speculate again about pregnancy, but like it is 2024. I know it's like my body, my choice and stuff, but like it's part of life. We're gonna talk about it. A lot of people are still upset again that they didn't really cover the parts where Kyle calls Amanda a bitch and calls her lazy. Again, listen back to my last few episodes to hear my theories about this because I understand Kyle. I just get him as a person, as an entrepreneur, as a business person, why he acts the way he does. One thing I don't understand about him is like the way he drinks and the way he acts like a frat boy when he drinks. I don't like that, but I get all these other things about him. And when it comes to Amanda, she basically is a self-admitted lazy person. A bitch, I think that's probably not acceptable. He probably should at least apologize for that. But I think as far as her being lazy and stuff, everyone's so up in arms about that. Like, go back again and watch the season 7 reunion. Andy asks Kyle and Amanda, like, did you get the prenup? And Amanda's like, no, we didn't get the prenup. And Kyle's like, yeah, well, she never really like looked into it anyway. And Amanda was like, you're right, I was lazy and I never even like Googled it. Like, she never even took the time to like Google what a prenup was. So it's like she just kind of says those comments too, like I'm lazy or whatever. And I think that because she says it to herself, Kyle thinks there's probably permission for him to say it to her, which is not true. But I think when you are self-deprecating and you put yourself down, it like opens the door and invites other people to talk down to you. And Amanda is guilty of that. Unfortunately, I think that stems from her anxiety and depression, that she talks a lot about how she got medicated and is now taking some SSRIs and feeling a lot better after this end of the reunion. There's just a lot to unpack there, but go back and watch again. The season 6 and season 7 reunions are so good, and it really gives you insight to what goes on between these people off camera as well. So it's a lot to go on between this cast. I want them all back for next season. And okay, that brings us to our number 1 most talked about moment of the week, and it's got to be nothing other than the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Again, I don't know if Andy did this to us on purpose, where he was like canceling the reunion. No, he said he canceled the reunion because there was no reconciliation and path forward. He didn't cancel the reunion because the season was shitty and there was no reason to have a reunion. I'm enjoying this season. I love every single episode. Do I space out a few times on my phone and like have to rewind a few times? Sure, I do. But does that make it a bad show? No. I mean, I do the same thing on Dubai. I have to rewind a few times, but I'm really enjoying Dubai. It's hard right now because we've been through so much amazing Housewives that like now these girls got to step it up. They really want to be playing, in the big leagues. And Real Housewives of New Jersey, they are the big leagues. Like, they can basically do nothing and be amazing at the same time. And we really got to treat this past episode with the whole Dolores, Jackie, Margaret trying. So they all decide to go to Joe and Melissa's housewarming party. And it is a limoncello theme, which I'm loving. If you guys, don't remember, I just went to the Amalfi Coast for the first time in April on my honeymoon. So I'm definitely one of those like basic chicks right now going on and on about Italy and wearing lemons and everything's limoncello, and I'm kind of obsessed with it. So I'm actually loving this era of Bravo right now. And they decide to go to Melissa and Joe's new housewarming party. And what unfolds there was truly a shocking moment. And it was a moment that should have been my OMG of the week, but it also had to be my number 1. So that's why I couldn't really choose what to do with it. My jaw was on the floor. So they're all standing around the kitchen island, and things start to get a little bit heated between the fact that Margaret and Jackie have had a falling out. And Jackie is really grasping for straws here. She keeps trying to say that Margaret is saying things about her mother, and Margaret is trying to take credit for Jackie getting the book. And like, I just don't see things that way. I'm not like a Margaret stan, but to me, Jackie's just trying to pick fights with her and trying to find things. Another thing too is people were really upset with Margaret about how she expected her friends to remember that it was Jan, her ex-husband's like death anniversary, basically. And again, they were like that's so ridiculous for your friends to know that. And I actually disagree with that. I think that if you're a good enough friend to me and you know that I'm grieving and we talk and we text and we call each other and we're like real friends, you're already going to know about the death anniversary because I probably have brought it up to you in a conversation or told you that it was coming up or like something has happened. So it's not like you would expect to know the exact moment and day of his death, but I would expect you to know like, oh my God, wow, hasn't it been like about a year that I should check in with them? What is going on, with planning that? Are you going to have a celebration of life? Are you going to you would just want your friends to be there for you. So it's really unclear to me how people were so upset with Margaret because that shows me how blinded the tree stumpers can be. But so they're standing on this kitchen island. Things are getting heated between Jackie and Margaret, and they're going on and on about their falling out. Remember Dolores and Jackie previously had that argument? And they're sitting there on one of the cast trips, and they're at dinner, and Jackie's going to Dolores. Dolores, I don't really want to be your friend. And Dolores is like, you know what, Jackie, I don't really want to be your friend either. And then Jackie says, I don't really consider it a loss, Dolores. And Dolores goes, okay, Jackie. In the most hilarious, joking, like sarcastic tone. And I forgot about that moment. It is recirculating now. It is so funny. You have to go back and watch that. I'm not sure what season that was from, but so I kind of forgot that Jackie and Dolores already have a little bit of like history and beef already. And so when they're standing on this kitchen island and Margaret and Jackie are getting into this fight, essentially Dolores is almost like coming to not defend Jackie, but is trying to get Margaret to like see Jackie's side. And Margaret is just like, I've had enough of this. Like, I know the truth. I know that Jackie talks shit about Dolores. We have to remember, like, Jackie and Margaret really were good friends, and they've just recently fallen out. So it's like up until a couple of weeks ago, they were chatting and doing whatever. Well, anyways, if they find out that Jackie was not tagged in a photo that was from one of the pictures that Dolores took of the softball game. And Jackie texted Margaret and was like, what the fuck is this? Like, she didn't tag me in the photo. Dolores is the fucking slob and I hate her. Well, Margaret took a screenshot and she sent it to Dolores right when she was standing there at the kitchen island with Jackie. And so all of a sudden, Margaret sends Dolores this screenshot. This is during the housewarming. And then Joe Bonino is standing there by Margaret, pointing to his phone, going like, check your phone. And then Dolores gets her readers out, puts her glasses on, and then takes her phone out and is like, hang on, I need to check on my dog. And then goes in and starts looking in her text and gets the screenshot from Marge that says, I hate Dolores, she's a fucking slob. And she just looks at Jackie and is like, oh, I'm a slob? Oh, I'm a slob? It is just Housewives. Perfection. The whole scene. I could watch it 50,000 times. Joe Bonino being the little bone collector, pointing to the phone. Marge just being like, I got screenshots, which makes me now realize that's why her tagline is like, you're busy doing shots and I'm busy getting screenshots or whatever. I don't know what the full tagline is, but gosh, it was so good. And everyone's mad, of course, down Marge. Like, you can't show personal text. And everybody was also mad at Dirty for like showing the personal text from Kyle before the Real Houses of Beverly Hills reunion. It's like, don't say it. Just like Jordan just said, write it, regret it, say it, forget it. Like, you can't be putting shit in writing. This is Housewives. And also, just like Lala said, we all know what we signed up for here. There's no bullying in Housewives. There's no like personal text. There's no keeping things off camera. This is Housewives. That scene, so good. Dolores coming up on the countdown 2 weeks in a row between tinking off with Pauly and then coming in with the screenshots here and getting called a slob. God, it's so good. I love Jersey right now. If you're not watching, you're really missing out. There's a bunch of drama going on. If you guys have not been keeping up, between Louis and Teresa, and Louis's fake investment in this fake company called Venivia, which was supposed to be a social media platforming thing, where influencers could monetize their platforms. And he basically worked with another like grifter named Marcelo or Marcellus or something. And between the two of them, they took out a bunch of loans, they got a bunch of fake investments, and they totally just did not pay a bunch of companies that were used to promote in third parties to launch, a launch party. And there's a lot of drama going on with Louis. No big surprise. He really does seem like he pissed away all of Teresa's money, and he's continuing to piss away a lot of other people's money too. And I think he's pissing a lot of people off. So I would not be surprised if we see him in handcuffs. I hate to say it. If we see Justin Timberlake in handcuffs, it's very possible we can see Louis Morales. It's not so far off. So this is what the world is coming to. And that was my number one most talked about moment of the week. So again, thank you guys so much for being here for another episode. Last week I teased my Substack, and I want to again promote that. I'm going to try to put the link to that in the show notes here, because it's just really important that everybody goes and subscribes to my Substack to start getting my once a week stories that I'm going to be posting about just different things. I believe my first one that I'm going to write is going to be more in depth about how I think fame has affected Bravo celebrities and how getting to that next level has like ruined kind of the allure of the reality TV on this network. So I'm going to have kind of a think piece about that coming out, and a few other really good ones. So please make sure you keep an eye out for my Substack. And yeah, just keep another eye out. Again, I'm going to be recording another bonus episode with my friend Joe. I know Joe is a trigger right now. A lot of Joe action going on Bravo. But no, not that Joe. My other friend Joe, which is funny because she lives in Milwaukee, actually. So they're both Wisconsin Joes. But no, Joe is going to be coming on to talk to me about Vanderpump Rules. And we're going to break down, kind of do like a little bonus episode. And I'm going to start playing around having some guests on here. And then again, make sure you stay tuned on my Instagram to get links to me being on the Bravo Outsider podcast, Bravo Outsider. That is coming up, recording June 24th. So, okay, anyways, that is all I have for you guys this week. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all. Ciao, bella.